Hello and welcome to In Deep with the Book of Me. This is the very first prompt for the 2015 series, and it's just a little bit late being shared with you via this presentation, which isn't going to be very long, but just enough to kind of kick off and give you some understanding. So how does the Book of Me work this year? Over the course of 2015, it's going to be delivered monthly on the first day of the month. There are going to be two exceptions, which are April and December, when the prompts will be daily. And in those months only, the prompts will be released halfway through the previous month. So that'll be March and November. The discussion is still happening over on the Facebook group. We do have our Google Plus community, and I'm going to really try and be good this year and see if we can get some more traction over on the community, and then that will feed in nicely to YouTube, which is where this presentation will live. So this first prompt is genealogical plantation, and the inspiration for this came from the Genealogy Carnival in 2011. It was the Carnival number 110, which what tree are you? And it asked you effectively to describe how you would describe your family using a tree or a plantation of trees. Because my genealogy is so mixed, and I sat with a blank piece of paper and just kind of brainstormed on how I thought my own family in terms of trees. I thought this was a really good prompt to kind of kick off the new series. What part of your family are represented by a specific tree? For example, on my own plantation, which I have talked about on my own blog, and I think I posted it probably within about the first week of January, which was pretty much what I'd originally posted back in 2011, although there were a few changes and tweaks to it. I looked at the baobab tree, for example, because I have several links to Africa. My grandfather was stationed in Sierra Leone for the Second World War. My husband and I got married in Kenya 20 years ago. So for me, the baobab tree was just a kind of a nice recollection of that time. We looked at things like wattle for my Australian roots. I had some Australian family. And I have had various branches of my family go to Australia, so some as early as 1803 and some as late as the 1940s, the mid-1940s. So there were some links there to that. I'm half Italian, so there had to be an olive grove in there, but you get the idea. And then it looks at why is that the case? Is it that a Caucasian, the image, the visual image that you have, perhaps the name the person have or the family have is linked to a tree? Perhaps your surname is Willow or something like that. In terms of my maternal line, my own maternal line has lived pretty much in the boundaries of Surrey, Sussex and Hampshire for around 300 years. So for me, that was a nice big solid oak tree. And then if you had a weeping willow, which just kind of encompasses all the bits of my family, all the different elements, which just gave me that kind of feeling. And if you look at, in terms, I think on the original post I wrote, and I said, you know, my own family you would never get wattle growing next to an oak, whereas I don't think you would, because of the logistical issues. You know, one's in Australia and one's typically very English. So you wouldn't get those trees together, and just as you wouldn't get me walking alongside an ancestor who was migrated to Australia in 1803, but in your mind you could perceive that and then can create this genealogical plantation. So that is just this very first prompt. I hope it's kind of giving you some time to think about how you view your own family with this prompt. And I will be back, I promise, in the very first week of February with next month's prompt. And in the meantime, I will leave you with this image here, which you can see, and it's his family, different directions, one route. And isn't that the truth? See you next time. Bye bye.